folks, and welcome once again to the Spaghetti Theater for the Spaghetti Theater Review. Crispin number 5 is already here. You're excited about this one, I see. You have a pumpkin.
Yeah, it's Halloween! Woo! I guess.
Yes. Well, it is October, and as long as 3-Eye Atlas continues on its expected trajectory, Halloween will arrive once again. So I decided to review my favorite scary movie, Disney's, yeah, can you believe that shit? Disney's The Watcher in the Woods. It terrified me as a kid when I saw it back in the 80s. So I became obsessed with it, naturally, and wanted to watch it again and again and again. And I did. Now I am sure that a shit ton of people would disagree with me that this is the scariest movie ever. That's why I'm stating that this is merely my own opinion, of course. I saw this when I was just a child, a lad, a little wee one, a little can of SpaghettiOs. And as one gets older, scary movies become, well, less scary, as you learn the process and see the fakery behind it all. So this is a movie that I saw at an age where movies could still generate actual, real terror in me. And this one always did it. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that you never actually see the Watcher. At least not in this version. The version I grew up with. The version that existed in the world for most of time. It's a point of view monster the entire time. And a few flashes of light here and there. You see, I learned many, many decades later that The Watcher in the Woods had like 3 alternate endings that actually add a lot to the story. And yeah, they even show the Watcher at the end. Only the effect was so laughable to early audiences, Disney had the ending entirely reshot into the one I grew up with, and the one that most people probably remember. And seriously, they butchered this movie's ending. I get why a little bit, but still, they could have done something a little better, now that I know the truth. But either way, I still love this film, and think it's the scariest movie ever. In my opinion, of course. It falls right into that whole dark Disney category, with other classics like Return to Oz, which I have right here. Crispin number 5 is sitting on it.
Maybe we'll review that sometime. Who the fuck knows?
But for me, a movie scares me more when I never actually see the evil force that's stalking them the whole time. Like the Blair Witch Project, which I also actually found scary for that same reason. So happy Halloween, folks. It's The Watcher in the Woods, featuring screen acting legend Bette Davis at the end of her acting career, and Kylie Richards at the beginning of hers. I'm gonna guess it's Kylie, even though when it's spelled it looks like Kyle, but Kyle usually makes me think of a boy's name, so Kylie Richards it is, I guess. So cut to England, the UK, Great Britain. Cause that's where the movie takes place, folks. As the Curtis family drive with this realtor lady to check out a new possible home for them to rent out in the country somewhere. Made up of Paul and Helen Curtis. The Curtises, everyone. Played by David McCallum from The Great Escape. And the man from U.N.C.L.E. and Carol Baker, who played the villain's psychopathic mother in the movie Kindergarten Cop. I'll always remember her in that. She wasn't so tough without her car, was she? Then there's the kids, their daughters, Jan and Ellie, being played by Lynn Holly Johnson, our main character pretty much, and Kylie Richards, who's the sister of Kim Richards, another Disney child actress who was in the Escape from Witch Mountain movies, which were actually directed by the same guy who directed this, The Watcher in the Woods, John Howe, or Ho, or however you say that. He also directed another huge favorite of mine, an underappreciated time travel movie called Biggles Adventures in Time. Something I definitely want to review. You never know. It takes time to do this shit. And I'm always saying I'd like to review that. The list 10 miles long, I know. Kylie Richards would also have a reoccurring role in all the Halloween movies over the course of the many decades that they made those. Anyway, they arrive at this old English mansion as the Watcher in the Woods, well, watches them. as this point of view monster would suggest. This camera effect worked well for this movie. Even though it is a horror movie trope I know and has been used many times, it does make me feel like some unseen force is watching them. So now that Dad, David McCallum, has seen this huge ass mansion of a home, is shocked at how affordable it actually is.
Yeah, a bargain like that wouldn't stay on the market a minute.
How many pounds did you say, mate? Which, as the realtor explains, is because of the crazy old lady who also lives on the grounds and owns the place.
Mrs. Aylward, the owner, is a bit eccentric.
She's very desperate to rent, however, she's also very picky about who the hell she lets live there.
She has no family left and she needs the income.
So, as Jan and Ellie explore the grounds of this beautiful English mansion, Jan gets an immediate eerie-ass feeling from the woods surrounding the place. Like she's being watched by a point-of-view monster. Damn paparazzi. If that was Alec Baldwin, he'd come running after you right now with like a baseball bat or something. The realtor then goes over to that crazy old lady's place to get her permission to show the mansion to the Curtis family, since they're interested. Her name is Miss Aylward, and she's being played by, screen legend again, Bette Davis, everyone. And she's very old here, as you can see. And is the only true terrifying physical presence in the entire movie. As a kid, this old lady creeped me out. Way to go, Bette Davis, with that hairdo and everything. So she agrees to let this normal-looking family check the place out and see if they want to live here.
I'll get the keys.
So they do, and can see one bonus right off the bat. The entire place is already furnished, and the Watcher wastes no time in making its presence known. When Jan looks out the window and gets spotted by it. When this happens. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Shit, I'd be packing up my crap and running for the fucking hillsides. English hillsides. In a James Bond car or some shit. Right? No, she's sticking around, of course. It's a horror movie. They don't fucking leave. Yeah, a flash of blue light, and then a window cracks on its own in the shape of a perfect fucking triangle. It must be its way of saying hello. Welcome to the neighborhood. If the Watcher could talk and had a voice, I'm sure it would have a lovely English accent. Get William Daniels from Knight Rider to do it. Hello, Michael. I'm the Watcher. But enough of that paranormal shit, because Miss Aylward is here now. All creepy as hell, out of fucking nowhere, to ask some pretty strange-ass question to a kid she just met.
What sort of person are you? Do you sense things?
But no big deal, because her parents have decided they want to rent the place.
That is, if you've decided to let us live here.
And she agrees to give them a shot at the haunted mansion.
I'm going to take a chance on you.
If you don't get killed or scared away in the first night, you win like $1 million. I don't fucking know. Jan then voices her own opinion, and it's pretty clear.
I had such a funny, cold feeling out by the woods. And then there's Mrs. Aylward.
She's creeped out by all of this. The creepy woods, Bette Davis, her friggin' hairdo, all of it. She has a bad feeling about this place, and just knows it.
Something awful happened here. I can feel it.
Later, the landlady informs the Curtises that it was a miracle she even agreed to let them rent the place at all. So count your friggin' blessings there. And that it was all probably due to the fact that Jan here reminds her of her daughter who went missing about 30 years ago.
I think it was your daughter who did the trick.
Me?
No, dear, not you. Disappeared. I think the circumstances were rather tragic.
And to prove it, let's cut back to Miss Aylward as she talks to the woods.
She's going to stay here. Is that what you wanted?
Suggesting that she also let them stay here to satisfy the Watcher. So cut to moving in day, as Jan discovers a mirror in the house that doesn't reflect her reflection. So, that's eerie. That is eerie for something in the middle of the friggin' afternoon. What the hell's going on? This Watcher is an efficient ghost. None of this waiting for the thick of night crap, because the mirror then cracks on its own in the shape of a perfect triangle again. Then, from inside the triangle, it reflects back an entirely different person. A blonde girl wearing a blindfold. Jesus fucking Christ! Run like fuck. Who cares about your stuff? Just get out of there. Then the rest of the mirror suddenly shatters and then falls to the floor in pieces. all by itself. So, lunchtime, anyone? Who wants to go to England Denny's?
Yeah! As long as they have spaghetti. Do they have spaghetti in England Denny's?
Damn it, I'm pretty sure they have fucking spaghetti in England.
Yeah, because you're a damn expert.
No, but I'm pretty sure I knew they had spaghetti. I think. It'd be weird if they didn't. So cut to bedtime, as Jan gets up to go over to that same window with the triangle crack in it, just to witness Miss Aylward wander out of her house in the middle of the night with nothing but a lantern to guide her, and head straight into the haunted forest. A little late for a walk, you think, Betty Davis? You're like 900 years old. Go to bed. Well, she's not afraid of the Watcher, I guess. Not being intimidated by any of that shit. Or she's off her meds and doesn't know what the hell's going on. So back to bed as the woods lets off some steam. So cut to the next morning, where the family visits this farm and the folks who live there. Jan's boyfriend Mike and her mother. This lady. They run the farm alone, I guess. That's where Ellie gets a free dog and can't decide what to name it. And when Jan wanders off to be alone with Mike, she gets possessed by the Watcher, who's clearly not confined to just the woods. It should be the Watcher of wherever the fuck you happen to be. Ellie then writes the name Karen backwards on this grimy ass window. And she did it in reverse mirror vision to be extra creepy. And when Jan sees this and asks her why she wrote that and the way she wrote that, she claims that it's gonna be the dog's name.
The name of the puppy. Merrick.
And that it was you that whispered it into her ear.
I was talking to Mike.
Well, I heard somebody say it.
Narek. Yeah. Karen spelled backwards, Narek. That's the dog's name. She decided. Well, the Watcher decided, I guess. Because we know that no one whispered shit into her ear. So the dog's name is Narek now. Then cut to outside, where Mike's mom is chatting with Jan and Ellie's mom. Mike's mom then spots the reverse side of that window that Ellie wrote the dog's name on, where Karen is now spelled correctly, in the correct direction. And when she sees the name Karen, she is spooked by it so much, has to run the hell off. Boy, that woke something up in the old battle axe, didn't it? So cut back to home at the haunted mansion, where Ellie plays with Narek as the Watcher watches. Then pan over as this guy peeps out of nowhere, Mr. Creepy Ass Trenchcoat.
So, he's the Watcher?
I guess. Well, case closed. He's not. So cut to later on when Jan goes looking for her sister Ellie, but only finds her radio playing generic 70s made-up music. So then cut over to Miss Aylward, who watches as Jan wanders into the haunted forest to go find her and her stupid dog, Narek. I've heard worse names, I guess. It is a dog's name, right? So it's alright, fine. So in the woods now, the point of view Watcher follows at pretty close range, as Jan yells out a bunch of times for her sister. A bunch of times.
Ellie! Ellie, can you hear me? Ellie! Ellie, please.
Now you won't forget her sister's name is Ellie, who she eventually finds on her own, dicking around with Narek, and then gives her the business for just wandering the hell off and scaring her, and not answering to her many, many calls, which she claims she never heard.
I didn't hear you.
Ellie and Jan then remark on how pretty this spot is.
Isn't this a pretty place? Yeah.
I guess, in an eerie, Tim Burton-y kind of way, I see it. That's when we hear some humming from nowhere real quick, that they sort of just blow up. When this happens. Shit. The fuck was that? Don't run like fuck. Run. Fucking run.
Did you see that?
Ellie didn't see it though, so Jan goes in for a closer look, and then sees this blue ring just appear in the water. So now, finally creeped the hell out, she tells Ellie she wants to get the hell out of there. And now,
Ellie, I mean it now!
only she stopped when another surge of blue light knocks her off balance and right into the pond, where she gets trapped below by these tree branches. That's when Miss Aylward comes running out of nowhere with a big stick and starts stabbing down in the water at Jan. like a psycho killer out of hell itself. So Ellie tries to stop her naturally from murdering her sister with a stick. Betty Davis has lost it, folks. So cut to later.
She had to.
At Miss Aylwood's place, as Ellie explains to a now recovering Jan,
She had to push it down to get you loose from the branch.
that crazy Betty Davis wasn't trying to kill you, she was trying to save you by freeing you from those sticks that you were stuck in with that stick she was stabbing you with.
She saved your life.
I guess. Miss Aylwood then asked why she named the dog Neri.
What kind of name is that?
Karen spelled backwards, since Karen also happens to be the name of her daughter who went missing 30 years ago.
That was my daughter's name.
So that's a weird coincidence. No, it's not. Miss Aylwood then makes them some tea, cause it's England and it's tea time, folks.
Drink this.
Get arrested if you don't do that shit. Bloody Dobby. That's when Jan asked Miss Aylwood if her missing daughter was wearing a blindfold when she disappeared.
Was she blindfolded?
Don't you know?
Which, yeah, she was wearing a blindfold. She then explained to her all the other strange shit that's happened to them since they arrived. Like seeing what I guess was her missing daughter Karen in the mirror that day.
She was blindfolded.
Which was creepy as fuck in my opinion, but she seems pretty casual about it.
You saw her?
So Jan just comes right out and asks Miss Aylwood to tell her what the hell happened 30 years ago to her daughter.
Could you tell me what happened?
From her point of view, which she does kindly, resulting in a flashback where a widowed 40-something-year-old Miss Aylwood is raising her teenage daughter all by herself in this giant mansion, and Karen was all she had. So naturally, when she didn't find her in her room one day, she just assumed that she had gone down to the park to watch the eclipse that was also happening that day. So she runs her ass down to the park to find her. And on the way, sees this shit happen at the old abandoned church along the way. Yeah, a bunch of weird flashes of light, surge of lightning, and these three teens running away from the scene in terror. So knowing that these three teens were her daughter Karen's friends, she runs into that church to look for her daughter. Only the place is in flames and she's nowhere to be found. So what the fuck happened? Later on, they searched the ruins of that old chapel and never found any remains of Karen. And the other three teens also had no idea where the hell she went. So cold case files it became for 30 years now. As for that blindfold that Karen was wearing when she disappeared, well, it was all part of some kind of game that the kids were playing when they would meet down at the chapel. English teenagers from the 1940s must have dabbled in some pretty serious shit just to amuse themselves. I guess, my God, son, have you been dabbling in witchcraft again?
Jolly good.
As for Miss Aylwood, well, she believes that her daughter is still somehow out there.
I think she's still out there.
In the woods. Maybe she's even the Watcher itself. She feels it within her. Only once Jan and Ellie's parents hear this shit, they think it's nuts, of course.
What nonsense.
Betty Davis is missing a bloody wingnut if you ask me, mate.
We'll always be grateful to Mrs. Aylwood for saving you.
Even if she did save your life by jabbing you with a stick violently that she just found or had with her for some reason. She just knew. Grab a stick. So cut to this dirt bike race. So the whole family, along with Jan's boyfriend Mike, can enjoy this local English dirt bike race. Never a dull moment for these folks.
Yeah, grab a sandwich before your sister eats some more.
I think I just saw CC Rider just whiz by. And that's where the Watcher possesses Ellie again to save her sister from getting killed by a rogue flying dirt bike. Whoa! So the Watcher came along to the dirt bike race too? He's like part of the family now? It can go wherever the hell it wants, I guess. Should be the Watcher of the world. Or maybe just at least the Watcher of England. And when Ellie is asked how the hell she knew to yell at her sister to get the hell off that rock before she got killed, she claims that it was the dog who wanted her to come over here.
I didn't want you. Nothing.
Good old Narek. It was Narek who saved your life. Give him a bone or something. So Jan tells Mike about all this new shit. and how there were 3 other kids with Karen that night she disappeared.
One was John Keller,
There's Tom Colley.
Mary Pierce.
One, who turns out was Mike's mom.
That was my mother's name before she married Dad.
This lady. That's why she shit herself when she saw the name Karen in the window. She was there too. This has been haunting her for 30 years. So Mike confronts his mother on this shit.
There's something about those woods that's always bothered you there, Mum.
Who claims that the game that they were playing was some dude named Keller's idea.
It was John Keller's idea.
And she seems to believe that Karen just used this as an opportunity to run away from home.
I think she ran away from home.
All she can remember is that during the game there was a sudden storm and a bolt of lightning that caused the chapel to catch on fire.
A sudden summer storm.
So the 3 of them just bailed the hell out of there, leaving Karen behind. So now Mike's mom fears the woods and that old chapel. So cut to Ellie again, back at home, as she shows off her eclipse viewing glasses to Jan
So I can watch the eclipse on Saturday.
for the upcoming eclipse. Uh-oh! The day that Karen disappeared there was an eclipse, remember?
Then I remember there was an eclipse that night.
So then the parents leave to go to the store so they can buy both kinds of peanut butter.
Crunchy or smooth?
Smooth.
Both.
As a kid, I was totally on board with the creamy. I was like that other sister's horrible for thinking she needs chunks of peanuts in her creamy peanut butter. But now I don't care, because the watcher is watching on. So cut to later for horseback riding now with Mike, where he takes Jan and Ellie for a ride through the country. And naturally, the watcher has decided to come along too, on his own watcher horse. Maybe. We can't see it. Mike then tries to lead them on a shortcut through the woods
Let's go back through the woods.
when a gust of wind spooks all 3 horses and sends them all running wild in 3 different directions. Mike goes after Ellie first, who is nearly picked off by this truck, until the watcher intervenes with a surge of light that flips the entire truck over, tragically killing the driver and... no, he's fine. Phew! I was worried there for a minute. Only this move allows Ellie to safely cross the road, and Mike too. It's wacky. Wah wah wah, I guess. Beep, 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 beep. So let's cut over to Jan and see what the hell she's up to on her wild horse, as it brings her directly to that old chapel where Karen vanished, and tosses her right the hell off in front of it. Pow! There! Go figure this shit out. Thanks, possessed Mr. Ed. And be careful, because there's someone already there creeping around, who can close doors, I mean. So now that she's there, she decides she might as well take advantage and explore this place. And once inside, she peeks inside this old coffin, and for a second, sees this appear. Well, my blood pressure just shot the fuck up. God damn, I'd be panic attacking. Could you not do that, Ghost of Karen? Could you give me a warning or something? Knock, yell, throw a rock, maybe? But no time to deal with that paranormal shit, because here comes that trench coat guy now. He's here, only is quickly scared off by the arrival of Mike and Ellie. But fear not, that was just some local dude named Tom Colley.
It was Tom Colley. He didn't hurt you, did he?
A weirdo, but harmless. So Jan then tells Mike about how she just saw Karen's blindfolded image inside that coffin.
I saw Karen's face again.
So they check it out, only it's not there still, obviously. Only while they're in there, a sudden windstorm breaks out and smashes a bunch of the windows. Only when Ellie comes inside, claims there was no wind at all outside.
But there wasn't any wind outside.
So it was the Watcher, which appears to be Karen Aylwood. And during that windstorm, these 2 circles fell before them, forming an eclipse. Fucking shit. So that's also weird.
What does it mean?
As Jan points out, all these mysterious shapes she's been seeing.
It must mean something.
So cut to that night, where crazy Tom Colley in a trench coat reports to this guy, Mr. Keller, the 3rd member of the group of teens that was there that night. Karen disappeared. The other was Tom Colley. Keller was the one who came up with the game in the first place. And Colley is losing his shit after seeing Jan at the chapel today.
Because God's my witness, I've seen her.
Because he's convinced she was Karen Elwood, because she resembles her a little bit. Only Keller thinks that's a bunch of crazy shit, man.
The night we... No, I've told you never to talk about that night.
Keller, by the way, is being played by actor Ian Bannon, who I remember as Robert the Bruce's douchebag, leper-ridden dad in Braveheart. All men lose heart, but I don't want to lose heart.
All men betray. All lose heart.
I don't want to lose heart!
And he was that guy from Ghost Dad, I think, too. Anyway, he thinks that Tom Colley is crazy for thinking that was the ghost of Karen Elwood.
It's been nearly 30 years.
Yeah, nada! And he's right, too, as we know. So cut to the fair the next day. Yeah! Where Mike has taken Jan as they jump scare us right out of this haunted house. After that, they go through the classic House of Mirrors, where Jan gets separated from Mike and finds herself completely alone in there. When suddenly, all the mirrors are reflecting blindfolded Karen Elwood back at her. She's surrounded by Karens at all angles, nearly giving her a panic attack before the arrival of other people break the connection. Jeepers fuck. I'd be running out of that place screaming too, wouldn't you? She just kind of casually runs out of there and tells Mike all about it.
Oh, come on, Jan.
And is now convinced that Karen is trapped somewhere and needs their help.
She's trapped somewhere, Mike, and needs my help.
Oh, come on, Jan.
Maybe she wants me to find out what really happened that night.
Oh, come on, Jan.
Only, she needs to find out exactly what happened the night that she disappeared. So she goes to that Keller guy's huge-ass mansion, where she spots Mike's mom, scurrying away from the premises. So she goes over and bangs on the door, and the dog answers first. Whoa, pipe down, Cujo. I just want to see the guy from Braveheart, okay?
All men betray. All lose heart.
I don't want to lose heart! Then Keller appears. A rather unfriendly chap, too.
Didn't you see the sign? This is private property.
As Jan announces that she came to talk about Karen Elwood.
About Karen Elwood.
And tells him all about her experiences lately. And how she's been seeing Karen Elwood in mirrors.
I've got to know what happened that night. It's important to me.
And needs his help.
Get out of here.
Mr. Keller, please.
Only he's not interested and tells her to piss off.
I said clear out.
He has lost all heart.
I don't want to lose heart.
He's accepted Karen Elwood as dead.
What happened to Karen was a tragedy. It's best forgotten.
So with no luck there, Jan heads back to the old chapel to track down Tom Colley. Guess he hangs out there.
Tom Colley!
Maybe he can be more helpful. So she wanders around looking for him and finds his squat hole inside the chapel. So he does just live here. Okay, and speak of the devil, here he is now, to scare the shit out of you. Psycho music and all as he moves towards her, like a creepy weirdo, only to discover that
You ain't Karen. Come back to haunt us.
she's no ghost of Karen Elwood after all. Folks, then, after a lot of coaxing,
Karen needs your help, Tom. Just tell me what happened to her in the chapel.
Jan convinces Tom Colley to tell her his version of what happened the night that Karen Elwood disappeared.
Ringing round the roses it was.
Which sends us into another flashback. Boom, we're there. Where we see Karen blindfolded in the chapel, not stuck in some mirror. Blindfolded because she was the new one to the group.
Mary Pierce, Tom Colley, and I, John Keller.
Those were Keller's rules if you wanted to be worthy of his society.
You have been brought to this place to prove yourself worthy of our secret society.
Fuck your society, Keller, and your blindfolds.
All lose heart.
Also, you couldn't show any fear during this initiation. Nor could you remove the blindfold.
You must not remove the blindfold.
Also, you're not allowed to break the circle they create when they join hands for the initiation. That's when the ritual begins. And that's when the sudden surge of lightning struck the chapel and everything caught on fire. And everyone but Karen ran the hell off, just as the tower bell falls and lands right where Karen was standing. Since Tom Colley actually turned around and witnessed this happen. Only Karen simply wasn't there. She was just plain gone. Fucking disappeared.
When the bell come down, she was gone already.
Then he ran off to join the other cowards.
Or lose heart.
So cut to Ellie, who's stopped by Miss Aylwood, who asked her about that mystery humming that she thought she heard out in the woods.
Where did you hear that song?
To when they sort of just blew off earlier. Miss Aylwood then invites Ellie inside of her home again and shows her this music box that used to belong to Karen.
She loved it.
And guess what? It plays that very same tune she was humming.
Listen.
That's when Jan arrives and tells Miss Aylwood Tom Colley's version of what happened that night. And as usual, the Watcher has decided to join in on this and possesses young Ellie again, who has a little episode.
Must help.
And starts saying vague phrases.
Must open door.
As if the Watcher was trying to tell them what they need to do through Ellie. They need to open a door in the chapel, and they need to open it soon.
Chapel. Soon.
And also, the Watcher is very insistent that it's not the ghost of Karen Aylwood.
No, not Karen.
Which raises a whole new question then. If the Watcher in the woods isn't the essence of Karen Aylwood, then who or what is it?
If you're not Karen, who are you?
And how do they even do any of this, Watcher? Opening doors at the chapel. That's when Mom walks in on this shit and is mighty pissed and decides to pack the kids up and leave this crazy place. Tonight.
I'm taking both of you away from here. Tonight.
Which Jan begs her not to do.
No.
Only when the crazy mother from Kindergarten Cop puts her foot down, there is no fighting back.
We're leaving here right now.
Go to hell.
Where you're going, you son of a...
So they're leaving tonight. So cut to them leaving that night, as it's pouring rain. And as they leave, the car keeps stalling, since the Watcher doesn't want them to leave.
It's trying to stop us.
Even to the point where it kills the engine for good, right in the middle of this old wooden bridge. And knowing that this is all the doing of the Watcher, Jan grabs the keys right out of the ignition and bails out of the car totally. And gets the hell off that bridge. And begs everyone to join her now. Get the hell out of the car. Get off the bridge. Which they do. And just in time too, because a surge of lightning strikes the bridge, catches it on fire, and the car drops. So there goes your car, Mom. You're not so tough without your car now, are ya? Only like a very small amount of people are gonna understand that joke, but I did it. I fucking went there.
You're not so tough without your car, are ya?
So shit, Mom. Are you convinced now that there's a Watcher in the woods? So cut back to home at the mansion, since now you're stuck here, as Jan begs the Watcher in the woods to please knock this shit off. It's getting crazy now.
Leave my little sister alone.
And Mom's not too crazy about it now either. Only tough shit.
It's not gonna use you, either of you.
The Watcher is on a mission, and if possessing this kid is gonna get it done, then so be it. So, a few hours later, after waking up from a nightmare...
We've got to hurry!
Ugh! Yeah, that would fucking wake me up too. We must hurry! Jan then finds that Ellie is not in her bed. She then discovers her in the bathroom writing a message on the mirror with soap. In reverse text again.
Nearly too late.
And she's talking to herself.
Hardly ever happened.
Only to be snapped out of it when Jan asks her a question.
What hardly never happened?
So, do it again tomorrow. Which they both don't know what any of this means and start to get really scared now.
I'm scared.
So cut to tomorrow. Eclipse Day. Don't stare directly at it. Talking to you, Donald Trump. Don't do that. That's stupid. Don't do that. You're gonna burn your eye. You know what? Go ahead.
Dad says you can't look straight at the sun, or to ruin your eyes.
Anyway, it's another big family and friends event. That's when Ellie actually says the same phrases that she said last night in possessed mode.
It's nearly too late. Nearly too late. It hardly ever happens, you know. Hardly ever happens.
Which allows Jan to start putting it all together.
The eclipse. There are lots of moon eclipses.
But a sun eclipse is special.
It's the eclipse, just like 30 years ago. So Jan bails the hell out of there to go call Mike.
We've got to hurry!
And explains all of this to him. How the circles that she's been seeing represent the eclipse. And that ring that they made around Karen.
Ring round the roses it was.
So what he needs to do is convince his spooked as hell mother to get to that chapel ASAP with Tom Colley.
But I have to get Keller, Tom Colley, and your mom to the chapel now.
So they can repeat that same ceremony they did 30 years ago. So hop to it, Mike, you got a mission.
We've got to hurry!
We need all three of them if we're gonna bring Karen back. By doing the very same seance that made her disappear. Miss Aylwood tries to convince Jan not to do this, since she intends on playing the part of Karen with the blindfold on.
Whatever happened to my Karen could happen to you.
Only she has to do it if this Watcher's ever gonna leave him alone.
Whatever is haunting Ellie and me will never leave us alone.
So Jan takes off to go convince the biggest dick through all of this,
Or lose heart.
Mr. Keller, that he has to go to that chapel right now and repeat that ceremony, so they can bring Karen back to this world.
Who do you think you are to take it on yourself to disrupt lives and reopen old wounds?
So good luck with that, Jan. He seems real agreeable.
They never really healed, did they?
Jan manages to guilt his ass into coming along with her,
Isn't that why you lock yourself away in that dreary old house? It was your idea, wasn't it?
and agrees to do it because, yeah,
The secret society?
it was all originally your idea in the first place. And she also points out how it's ruined his life in the process. You're a total shit because of it. You're a hermit living all alone in this big-ass house. You happy? You could have at least offered Tom Colley a room to stay in. Maybe rent it out to him so he doesn't have to squat in that old chapel. Dick! So now she's convinced Keller to actually return to that chapel with her, where they wait for the other two to arrive,
They should have been here by now.
which Keller doubts they will.
They won't come. Not back to this place.
Only he underestimated the convincing power of young Mike, because here the hell they come, even his terrified mother.
We've got to hurry!
So cut to Ellie, who's getting ready to watch the eclipse, when she's forced to chase after Narek, the idiot mutt again, when he runs the hell off into the woods. So cut back to the chapel, where Jan tries to convince these three that they have to repeat that same ceremony they did 30 years ago. And it has to be today and it has to be now so it lines up with that eclipse. That also happened then.
It was during an eclipse.
So cut back to Ellie, where once again, the Watcher takes possession of her. Might as well just move in now.
Narek!
And it's super creepy this time as she calls for that dumb dog Narek, as her voice changes.
Narek,
Yeah, see that was something that scared me as a kid.
Narek.
Narek. Dude, what the fuck is happening? It's all been leading up to this.
Narek.
So cut back to the chapel again, where Mike is against all of this shit.
When Karen did it, something went wrong. She was never seen again.
We shall hold hands around you, and you must not break our circle.
Only don't fuck this up, buddy. Don't break that circle, or it's all for naught.
If anything happens to Jan, I'll break it.
Don't interfere, boy. Move away.
So Jan gets into the role of Karen and takes her position. Even puts the blindfold on and then tells them to repeat that ceremony, which Keller does. And it actually friggin' works. The sudden wind comes back and causes the windows to all shatter. Whatever's left of the windows at this point.
Listen.
As Ellie and her new possessed voice enter the chapel to explain everything and what it even is.
I've been trapped on your planet, Karen in my dimension.
It's an alien that's been trapped on Earth this whole time.
We exchanged places by mistake.
And accidentally exchanged places with Karen 30 years ago, during that eclipse. Oopsie! Alien tech's good, but not perfect.
Magnetic pull of the eclipse transferred our positions.
The magnetic pull of the eclipse transferred their positions. You get that, right? It happens all the time on Earth, right? You know what I'm talking about? So now Karen is now trapped in that alien's dimension that we can't see. And vice versa. That's why we can't see the Watcher, even though it's stuck here. So with that eclipse ready to happen again, it's time for them to transfer it back.
I must return home.
Where's home? What happened to Karen?
Where's home? What happened to Karen? Didn't he just answer that?
Karen is my dimension. We exchanged places by mistake.
Listen. Listen when the alien speaks.
Listen.
So anyway, they start doing the ceremony again to reverse the process, to return Karen to Earth and the Watcher back to its own dimension, where Karen is haunting some interdimensional woods. Maybe, I guess. Mike's terrified mom even tries to break the circle, since it actually starts working again. Only they won't let it.
Take me on!
It's now or never, you selfish English bitch. The power of alien energy then starts to engulf Jan. She's quantum leaping, so a panicky Mike tries to break the circle and eventually succeeds. Just as the transfer completes and everything returns back to normal, as the eclipse reaches its full peak in the sky. The cosmic ballet goes on. And hot shit, it worked! Karen's back, everyone! She's being played by a totally different actress now, but she's back. And everyone else is okay too. Jan, Ellie, she's not possessed anymore. Karen then takes off her blindfold, and besides being a different actress, apparently hasn't aged either in that other dimension. She's still a teenager. At least I think she's a teenager. I guess you passed the initiation, Karen. You can be in our secret society now. I'm guessing the secret society disbanded, just as Miss Aylwood comes running into the chapel to see that her daughter has returned.
Karen.
She is a different actress, but close enough, I guess. So she gets to reunite with her daughter. We don't really get to see it, but it's heavily implied. Because roll credits, the movie is over. That was Watcher in the Woods. The scariest movie ever made, in my opinion, of course. Which leads me into my final thoughts on this film, and that quickly slapped together ending. Because, well, it wasn't the original ending by far, as I said earlier. There was a lot more to it than that, something I never knew until the release of the DVD special edition, decades later. So I always accepted that as the ending. And I was even satisfied too. At the time, until I saw this. There are two alternate endings on the DVD, which squished together are kinda sorta the director's original cut. So, in the first alternate ending, instead of a possessed Ellie showing up at the chapel in the end, the alien actually shows itself, so you get to see the Watcher, with this cheesy effect, which actually takes hold of Jan and teleports away with her. That's when her mother shows up looking for her, only to get to witness her reappear through a portal of light, with original Karen. Same actress too this time.
They changed it back.
Jan then reunites Karen with her mother by actually taking her home this time, and we actually get to see it happen. That was the first alternate ending. The second one's even more elaborate. First we get to see Bette Davis tell Jan's mom about what she's planning to do at the chapel.
I know what it's like to lose a daughter.
Which explains why she shows up there. The alien appears again, and even zaps Hothead Mike for trying to interfere.
We got to hurry!
The alien teleports away with Jan again, only this time we get to see where they go and what they do, in some pretty questionable and cheesy effects that, like I said, test audiences laughed at. The alien was way too fake, they kept the camera on it way too long, and even the director agreed with that part of it. However, he didn't like that new ending with the new actress playing Karen, because she wasn't available for the reshoots at the time. Same with the director. I like these endings better because it explains what was going on better, even through the cheesy effects. It also wrapped up each character's story a little better, by actually getting to see Karen and her mother reunite. The original ending did have that quality of never actually showing the Watcher.
Karen is my dimension.
Which to me made it even scarier as a kid.
Merrick.
It was one of the parts I loved best about it.
Merrick.
This weird looking shit sort of kills that. Even though it is kind of scary if you saw it for like a second maybe. But once you look at it for a long time, yeah, it looks like it's hanging on a coat rack or something. I will always think that this is the scariest movie I've ever seen, because of when I saw it and how it affected me as a kid. It didn't make me fear the woods or anything, since it was an alien all along, with no ill intent. It just wanted to get home and return Karen in the process. It was just eerie and supernatural to human perception. The unexplained. I love it. And I highly recommend it as part of the Dark Disney collection. I noticed that the kids have no English accent in this. And I am aware that Disney did do a remake of this film. Only, like Pete's Dragon, I don't think I care if I ever see it. The final thing that I wanted to point out. I noticed this only after editing this entire movie into a review. There are no strong male leads in this movie. You have male characters, but they're barely in it, and they're not very strong characters. David McCallum, and Dad, you barely even notice he's in it. Mike sort of just gets zapped, tries to break the ring. He's sort of an idiot when you think about it.
We've got to hurry!
This was primarily a female, woman-led movie by the two daughters and the great Bette Davis. May she rest in peace. So with that, I'll end my look at The Watcher in the Woods.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
And a special thanks again to all my subscribers and leavers of comments. Adios for now, and I'll see you at the theater. Ready to go, Crispin number 5?
Uh-huh. And don't forget, keep looking at the stars.
The stars? Alright, Crispin number 5. I think he means keep looking out for 3-Eye Atlas. It's probably just gonna fly by you.
That's what they say.
Mary.